Yeah, it should be on. I think.
Hi. I don't know if we're live. She walked away.
I'm shutting the door. Ish. It says we're live.
Okay. Hi. How are we? It's Monday.
Good morning. Okay, so I said we were going to talk about a couple things.
We are. We're going to talk about several things.
Upcoming classes.
Not this Saturday. Next
This
Saturday.
Saturday is our long arm certification class.
It's full.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. There'll be another one later.
I need to list the other one, and I will work on doing that today. But next Saturday, I'm doing a class on foundation paper piecing, and I call it Sew With Your Stash, using the foundation paper piecing pads. These are great little pads.
Vintage kite, the
And-
courthouse steps, which also work as a...
But see, there's a log cabin
Log
as well,
cabin.
because they're not the same block. They're just similar. And then the snail trail,
I
there
love
are
the snail
actually
trail. More of them downstairs.
There are
She just
more.
went and grabbed a few.
and more sizes. I just grabbed a few to show you.
The
But
big ones.
what
too.
I love about them is these are blocks you can totally do without foundation paper piecing. But it lets me do tiny piecing,
And
super precise,
So precise. And so satisfying.
and
Look at that.
without worrying about it at all. So then I end up with these gorgeous little blocks. And the little pad of paper in here, it tells you what size to cut your pieces to. I look at that generally, kind of, and then move on. I usually actually measure
I make them a
myself.
little bit bigger because
I always cut generously. But I just grabbed leftovers from a quilt. This is leftovers because that's how some quilts are. And I'm just keep sewing strips. And so the whole idea is you don't have to buy fabric for this.
Nope.
Grab your
Sew your
stash,
stash.
grab a layer cake or
A
a
scrap
scrap pack
bucket.
or something.
I've got so many scrap buckets.
Bring a scrap bucket and let's play with it and let's make some fun things. And if you've never done foundation paper piecing, this is a great way to learn how to do foundation paper piecing.
Because Mom's got another class coming up again. She taught the freezer paper method where you don't end up tearing the papers afterwards, which is awesome. But I would recommend learning the original method first.
Just because it's going to make it a little easier to learn about cutting to the right size and placement.
The process.
And then my favorite thing with foundation paper piecing is what I call pre-trimming, which I didn't learn to do when I learned foundation paper piecing. I learned that later, and it was a game changer.
Totally
It made it so much easier.
So much. So much.
And so those are things I like to cover. But yeah, Mom's class is awesome. She's actually designing a quilt to go with that class right now. So it's going to be great. But if you want to learn the basics of foundation paper piecing,
And
join
even, you don't have to print the papers or buy a whole
Right?
sheet of paper and use a printer. You just
keep ripping
buy
out
one
a
of
sheet.
these.
And you know,
And they even have quilt layouts, like how many you need to make all
I
these
don't
different
know
sizes.
what I'm going to make with all these when they're done. Probably a quilt. I don't know what the
Or a
layout's
bag.
going to
It'd be a
be.
cute
Or a
bag.
bag.
It'd be
It'd be
a
an
cute
adorable
bag.
bag. I'm just going to keep sewing blocks.
Yeah.
And eventually they'll get put together into something.
All right. So next up,
Next.
we've been waiting for this since November.
Since October. Okay, so when we went to Quilt Market, we visited the Shannon Fabrics booth more than once.
We're friends with
But
those people.
one of the times we were there, we were actually sitting down because we
I'm
don't
just
usually sit down. Sorry, I had to cuddle it because it's here.
I might fall asleep.
And our guy, I can't remember his name.
Matt?
Maybe? I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, he comes and he hands me this body pillow. And then I decided I might need to live in the booth. And I think,
It was freezing in there too, so
Yeah, first of
Minky
all-
was fabulous.
but he handed me this body pillow with a Minky cover, pillowcase on it. And it was heavy and snuggly. And
It's like my memory, my it's like my purple pillow at home that I sleep on.
Right. And I loved it. And then I think I brought 3 of our reps from other companies over to the Shannon booth to show them the body pillow. I mean, I remember at least dragging Lori over there. I was like, have you seen this? You have to see this. I mean, she sells Wyndham in Anthology. What does she care? But I had to show her. Because I do that. Because I love this. Anyway, since we left Market, I have been waiting ever so impatiently for their pillow forms to come. Because they actually have lots of sizes of pillow forms. We got in 2 of the sizes. We have an 18-inch and then the body pillow. And then Sweet ordered a few more of the sizes recently. And they finally came. a week and a half ago. They arrived on Thursday afternoon.
Jen was here that day.
I was here that day. And actually,
So-
they arrived earlier in the day, and there were so many boxes. And I was so buried with other things. And I knew all the boxes were Minky. They said Shannon, and I'm like, great. And in the afternoon, Callie, she comes in at 4, the end of the day, right? She's opening the boxes, and she pulls out this roll, and she's like,
They're
what
vacuum packed in these
is
rolls.
this? It's
So this
this big.
huge pillow is this big.
You know, it looks like a giant pill. And I was like, oh my gosh, is that what I think that is?
She made it the next day.
I didn't make it the next day.
You made
I
it
made
that
it
night.
that day. No, before the shop
Yeah.
closed at 6. What I realized was, I walked over to the Minky area. I picked a fabric. I cut it into 2 pieces.
She went and grabbed a
I
zipper.
grabbed a zipper and sat down at my sewing machine in the classroom and made the body pillow before the end of the day. Because I didn't want to take the sample home. Well, I did want to take the sample home.
But then she wouldn't bring it back.
If I took this home, it wouldn't come back.
So the pattern's free, right?
Sure.
As with all Shannon.
They have a pattern. They have their pattern. This was me winging it.
Okay, so there is a free pattern that has an envelope.
Closure on, just
Closure
on the
on it.
side.
Jen did a zipper.
Because I
Make
like
it-
zipper pillowcases.
Oddly enough, easier. I think it's easier.
I think it's easier.
At least on something like this.
If
it's
you
easily
construct
washable.
it properly, the zipper is easy. And the trick to the zipper is press and seal.
Anyway, but I want to show you guys this pillow form. It's like dense. This is not light and fluffy pillow. This is heavy weighted pillow.
This is not a lightweight.
And which is part of what makes it awesome. So
Mhm.
Jen's gonna schedule a make and take day
I think I'm gonna do one
during
over spring break because I was hoping these would come in like November, December, so we could do one by Christmas. Because teenagers are hard to buy for. There's not a teenager alive that would turn down a body pillow covered in fluff.
No,
So
not ours anyway.
I can't think of a single one.
I would say
That I've ever
from
met.
all of the ones I know,
Even the boys, just
they
Whatever.
take it.
give me a. So, yeah, we'll do one over spring break. It'd be great. I mean, all the adults are welcome, of course.
I would say because I know adults that wouldn't turn it down either.
Oh, I won't. I want it.
Charlotte's already made one for herself.
Yeah, so my daughter came to work, my 13-year-old came to work Saturday, called me and asked me how much fabric she'd need. And Sunday made herself one. So it was my 13-year-old sewed one. She did great. So totally great for your teens. But we'll schedule a make and take over spring break.
Yeah.
Because let's get them out of the house and making something.
Right? I'm all about getting them out of the house. Okay, so last thing I want to tell you guys. Today, by noon, I don't know if it'll be right at, before noon, by noon, our fall retreat is going to go live for sale.
Yeah.
We are going back to the Gooding University in this year, the same place we went last year. We are calling it our rustic retreat because it is, okay? We have searched the entire state and beyond for a retreat center that will let us have enough people to make our retreats worth doing and yet
Still be like that homey atmosphere.
homey sleeping accommodations, dining accommodations where we cook for you
And a big enough sewing
and
space.
a big enough sewing space. And what I'm going to tell you is we've searched everything.
This is the one that exists.
This is the best place we found.
That's
And it is a little rustic. It's an old school that is currently
school/hospital/
it's still mid rehab process.
it's under renovation.
But by supporting it, we're supporting the renovation and making it.
And
But
a really lovely family.
they are a lovely family, absolutely wonderful people, and the bedrooms are
Really nice.
it's the only place we've ever gone that provides towels
And sheets.
and sheets.
We didn't clean up.
Anyway, but it is rustic. There are stairs.
The floorboards creak. Now, we will be taking care of some of our stair issues. As in, we will have help to load and unload.
Yes, but
So if
you have to-
loading and unloading was a problem in the last year, we will have help for that. That being said, if you can't do stairs,
We have a spring
hotel
retreat at a hotel.
which is great.
If you need a private bathroom, we have a hotel retreat in the spring.
And that's so they are two very different retreats, and that's fine. I love them both. I love this one because I love the like sleepover with your friends. It feels like a sleepover.
Oh, yeah. Plus, we're doing the cooking, and we do the.
It's just very cozy.
Very cozy. And yep, it's a different feel than a hotel retreat. We thought about doing just another hotel retreat in the fall, and I didn't want to give up the cozy, super friendly. Not that the spring one's not friendly. It is very friendly.
We love it. They're
But-
just two different retreats.
But they're just different. And we wanted to keep it that way.
Yep.
That's what we decided.
Yep, we decided we liked them both, and we have people that like both, and so we're going to keep doing both. And if you like both, great. If you like one over the other,
Also great.
We'll see the one you like best.
Yeah.
Anyway,
This spring one is sold out, by the way. Next year. You'll have
Yeah,
to
we'll
look for it
see
next
you
year.
spring of 2026. Good
Yeah.
night of living.
I'm getting old. 2026.
2025.
I don't care. It's still.
I mean, do you remember vividly? Like, I remember vividly. It's the only New Year's Eve I remember vividly was
2000?
2000.
It was downtown Boise.
I know. It's the only New Year's Eve that I vividly remember. And now my son was like, that was 25 years ago. And I'm like, shut your mouth.
It was my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
I remember. I
Sure
there.
was. Uh-huh. Downtown Boise. And guess what? The world didn't end.
I know.
Crazy, right?
The world's supposed to end like 30 times in my lifetime so far. It
Yeah,
still
I'm
hasn't
just
happened.
numb to it. It's like, oh, look. Something else is crazy. I'm like, and whatever.
Whatever. We've been through crazy. There'll be more crazy.
Anyway, if
Anyway,
the world ends, I'll be surprised.
maybe pleasantly even.
I mean, so far, I've been told, and it just hasn't happened, and frankly, it's a little anticlimactic.
That's true. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Tangents. But the fall retreat's going to go live today. There is
There are
a
different,
pricing structure
based on the rooms you choose.
based on the sleeping arrangements you choose. A private room, read closely, may not include a private bath. There's no shared beds.
Nobody shares bed.
There's nothing like that.
Unless you explicitly tell us, hey, me and my friend would love a price break, and can we share a queen size bed? Talk to us. We'll see what we can
we'll
do.
see what we can do. But
We don't assume when you sign up that we're going to have you share a bed.
no. I don't do that. I don't share.
Mm-mm.
I won't share with her.
Right.
So I don't expect you to either. Anyway, but that's gonna go live today. So tell your friends, make some plans.
Watch for it.
It's in November, and we're doing it in November.
We're going
when the
back
bugs
to
are dead.
November when the bugs are dead, and it's not competing with fall market.
Yeah, fall market's
We
way
moved
early
things
this year,
around,
and
and this year fall market got moved to early October instead of the last week of October, which means it's easier to do our retreat that first week of November again.
because we used to do it the first week of November, but we were like coming home from market and turning
then-
around and going straight to retreat the next day.
Which left it super stressful for Mom and Allie because they ran the shop for the week while we were gone to market, and then we leave right away. And Sarita's coming back from a week away from the shop with
With tons
trying
of
to
catch
run
up
the
to
shop.
do,
And Liz and I are like, we'll see our families eventually. And
there's that.
yeah, but this year market moved to early October, and we're like, well, great, that gives us a few weeks home to finish retreat prep.
Yay!
So that's what we're excited for that. And the flies will be dead.
The flies will be dead. Last year it was fly.
It was fly week.
You know how, if you're not from Idaho, it might happen where you live too. There's a week of the year when the flies, like the temperature just starts cooling down enough.
Just enough that they all try and move indoors.
They all try and move indoors.
It's
and
before that first real freeze that just
Then that
goes-
first real freeze happens and it's better. Yeah, that's where we were at, and it was frustrating for me and everyone else. But the flies will be dead this time, so yay!
Right. We're excited.
Anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. The place really is quite nice. We love the living room upstairs where we are able
The
to
kitchen
eat.
is the best we've been to. The rooms are really nice. They have good mattresses.
Yes, I slept during it well.
I slept really well.
And
There's individual heaters in every room.
yeah, we had
It really was a nice retreat. I enjoyed it immensely.
And having been there before, we'll be more prepared for a few things this time.
Right.
And we'll help you guys be prepared. But
Yeah, actually, Liz and I are going to do a couple of videos coming up. One on how to pack for a retreat and planning projects for a retreat.
like, what is a good retreat project and what maybe isn't
A good retreat
a good
project.
retreat project?
Um,
Not saying I will limit you to whatever.
I'm not going to tell you can't work on it.
Gonna
I'm
tell
just
you
going to tell you if,
why some things are easier to do at retreat and other things are not.
so, just because we've done a lot. I mean, and Liz and I rarely go with fewer than 6 projects.
That's true.
So I bring a lot to a
Myself
retreat.
included.
Right. And so I get it. And I understand like wanting to work on different things, and sometimes there's boredom, and there are ways to plan for that. I always think as I'm packing all of my crap for the retreat, I'm like, there's no way anybody's going to show up with more than what I packed.
And then they do.
And then most people show up with more than what I packed, which is great if you want to carry it.
Yep, pretty much. Okay, but we're gonna get to work because we're gonna actually get that.
We gotta go get the
Get
retreat
the retreat
listed.
page all set up and get it listed here in the next couple hours, but it'll be live by noon.
Yep. So watch for it.
Yeah,
Sign
and
up. It's gonna be
I'm
great.
gonna see if I can get Jen to let go of the pillow.
It's mine.
And if you come to the shop looking for the pillow and they hand you a tube that looks like this, it is the right thing.
Yeah, actually, when Charlotte opened hers, she was.
It takes a
really
minute to
disappointed
reinflate.
because it had like stuff down here, and the rest of it was just empty. And she was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Honey, did you see how it was vacuum packed? Give it a minute." So then she left it on her bed, and then came in my sewing room and sewed the pillowcase. And then she went back inside, and it took her a while to stuff it. And I was like, I told you not to open it till it was time to stuff it. Because it'd be so much easier to put it in here and deflate it. Because, like, when I filled it in the classroom, I think Diane and Callie both helped me put the pillow in the pillowcase.
Yeah.
Because I wanted it to be snug. I didn't want it to be
Loosey-goosey. Yeah.
flopping around in there. And I had to do the seal pony because,
You do. Like you do. As you should.
Listen, we're not going with cheap minky on this one.
Mm-mm.
Plus, it uses 1 yard and 1/8. Not 1 yard, 1 yard and 1/8. Gotta have
Yeah.
seam allowances and room to straighten things up.
So, maybe 1.25 yards if you want to give yourself wiggle room.
1 yard and 1/8 is enough.
Okay, whatever. Anyway.
But you cut that in half. We'll do it later. I'll schedule a sew day. Don't be scared of the zipper. It's super easy.
Use press and seal. Solves all your problems.
Oh my gosh. You use it when you need to do minky pillows, okay? Keeps the hair out of the way. Then you just rip it off after you sewed.
Rip it off after you sew it.
Rip the press and seal off.
I was just making sure people could understand what you were trying to say.
Okay, good. Somebody should understand.
Somebody should. Okay,
Bye.
I'm going to get back to work.
We're going to go to work. Stop talking. I'm going to take my pillow.
You are not.